a step-by-step guide for jazz vocabulary on Blue Bossa. Welcome jazz enthusiasts and aspiring students. Today we're delving into the favourite jazz standard, Blue Bossa. And I'm here to guide you on a transformative journey of learning and implementing authentic jazz vocabulary. We'll unravel the intricacies of how you can practice this timeless piece to sound super authentic in your solos. We will be exploring essential vocabulary techniques using the word method and not the sentence method, as I like to call it. We will focus on what makes up the licks, not just practice licks and hope to copy and paste them. Whether you're a trumpet player, sax player, guitarist, pianist, or any other instrument, this educational adventure is tailored just for you. So get ready to unlock the secrets of jazz improvisation, enhance your musicality, and bring the magic of authentic jazz vocabulary to your Blue Bossa jazz solos. So here we are looking at Blue Bossa, and for every 4 bars I am using a different type of vocabulary. We're using approach notes, we're just running the scale of whatever the key center is, we're using the Fats Navarro lick or broken chords, we're using Clifford Brown type vocabulary for 2-note enclosures and also chromatic enclosures, motifs, widely used by many jazz musicians. What's a motif? It could be a melodic or a rhythmic statement that you just use, that I personally just use the chord notes for, or a bit of a scale. Leading notes, for me, this just means leading into a chord note from a semitone below. And then we've got this scale fragment using a Tom Harrell type pattern. And then we are on to Etude 3 and 4, where we use the vocabulary. If I've left it blank, it just means it's just the chord notes. It's just chord notes and rhythm. But here is an enclosure, there's the leading note, there's the Fats lick, approach notes, chromatic enclosures, Tom Harrell scale fragments. You can see how just by pretty much using the vocabulary in Etude 1 and Etude 2, you can create a great sounding jazz etude, as you've just heard. So here we go now with Etude 1, and you'll hear just using the approach notes, and then the second line running the scale, the third line using broken chords or the Fats Navarro lick, as I like to call it, and then line 4, 2-note enclosures. Now, of course, the way that you should practice this is whatever vocabulary you're using, you practice it for the whole chorus. Practice it for the whole chorus and practice it for a few hours, certainly, until you really get it into your playing. It might take more than a few hours, it might take a few days, it might take a few weeks, however long that takes. Really get it into your playing. Get used to doing approach notes, get used to running the scale, and then once you've really got it into your playing and into your ears and fingers, then start experimenting, putting them together. This way you're going to create beautiful melodic phrases rather than just copy and pasting jazz licks. Okay, let's have a listen to Etude 1. moving on now to Etude 2. By the way, I should hasten to add that the Patreon members and my coaching program members, I'll put links in the description, receive these PDFs in concert pitch, B flat pitch, bass clef, as well as E flat pitch. And they also get the backing track too. So here on the first 4 lines, we practice chromatic enclosures. I have videos about chromatic enclosures. I'll put those in the description. Motifs, as I've already mentioned, leading notes and scale fragments. Okay, let's have a listen to Etude number 2. So by practicing these elements of vocabulary on their own, in a super targeted way, I have found that you stand much more chance of hearing those pieces of vocabulary as you are truly improvising, because you will know the chord changes. Of course, we do need to know the chord changes and the key center scales before starting to apply these elements of vocabulary. But if you have already done that, if you know your chords, if you know your scales, then practicing this way will, I have found, get this vocabulary the quickest into your own playing fingers and ears. Let's listen again to Etude 3 and Etude 4.